take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In this moment, power's redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine.
Everybody, and welcome to today's It's in the Ballot show for the now it's Te Puke Maketu General Ward, or is it said the other way around? Maketu-Te Puke General Ward. These are your candidates standing to vie to become the next councillors for the Western Bay of Plenty Regional Council. But with every election, there's one thing stepping in their way, and that's your vote. Participating today. So yes, welcome to today's It's in the Ballot show, and let's kick off with our candidates' opening statements. Laura, you get to go first on why you should receive one of the ticks for being the was it Maketu-Te Puke General Ward Councillor?
Hi everybody, my name's Laura Ray. I am born and bred in Maketu. I currently reside in Te Puke. I stood in 2016 for the Maketu Community Board because I wanted to have more diverse voices at the table. I wanted to see more younger representation as well as female representation mainly. So from there, I became the chairperson, and then I was successful in the by-election and am a current sitting councillor, but obviously we're all up for election. So why do I think that I should be there? Well, I've done a lot for the communities of the eastern areas, and I just want to continue to do that and just to be here with everyone and bring everyone along for the ride. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Next up, Grant.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Daly. I'm standing for the Maketu-Te Puke Ward councillor position. I have been a current councillor for the last 9 years and also a member of the Te Puke Community Board for 15 years. I have lived in Te Puke for nearly 25 years now. I'm married to Rhonda. We've got 2 kids who went through the school system in Te Puke. I've got a 6-year-old grandson. We live on a 2-acre lifestyle property in the hills of Te Puke. I'm standing to continue to advocate and represent the Western Bay Plenty District Council, also particularly the Maketu-Te Puke Ward. I believe, we are experiencing unprecedented growth in housing and infrastructure demand, so I would like to continue to add my experience to that mahi. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And next up, we've got Manvir.
Hello everyone, my name is Manvir and I'm running for the councillor for the Maketu and Te Puke General Ward. this is my first ever time stepping in a role like this. I'm also elected unopposed in the Eastern Community Board of the subdivision of the Te Puke Community Board so far, and I'm totally a fresh face to this, to politics, and I believe being a young, energetic person, I have a different and creative approach to things as to some other people might, and I believe our ward deserves strong representation, someone who listens, acts, and delivers as they should do. And I believe I can do that pretty good. So that's me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now let's get off to the box questions. So because we are doing things here on very skeleton crew here, and we're probably following what some business people like to sit there and do, I'm being both the role of Selwyn Too Good and Teneke Kabushi here tonight. So what's going to happen is here I've got boxes between 1 and 28, and each candidate gets to pick a box number and answer the question that's in the box. Also, each candidate gets given 2 button cards and 1 defer card. If they would like to use their button card, they finish with the candidate who is using their finish the question, and then they add their button to the after the question. If they want to use their defer card, as if they get a question they don't want to answer, they can defer it and defer it to a candidate who is here, or we can always be cheeky and say it to a candidate who is not here. So let's kick off first with Laura. What box number between 1 and 28? And you can use English or Te Reo Māori.
I'll take number 3, please.
Number 3, not a problem. Okay, we got T for Tango. Now, I just want to make sure that I've got the right questions put on there. Yes. Okay. How would you balance long-term asset renewal with keeping rates manageable?
Wow, first question off the block is quite a tricky one. Long-term asset renewal with keeping rates manageable. Well, it's about making sure that obviously your assets, your long-term assets and their renewable lives need to be considered when you're considering long-term plans, annual plans. A lot of the staff that are employed will help with being able to do that. So if you have strong relationships with staff members, that should be quite helpful. Keeping rates manageable in itself is very difficult, and it's time to have those sort of tough conversations. And unfortunately, you know, you're going to have to decide what is important to people and what isn't.
Okay, thank you for that. Grant, what box number?
Are these not tied into the question list that you gave us, that in a random order?
That would be correct, yes. Yeah, so when you pick a box number, it's meant to be random, so I don't know what questions they are and what questions are coming out of the box, neither do you, so it's a bit of a random luck of the draw.
Do you want to just know if that number's been picked before?
Yes, because I've already put the card over there. Yeah, so you pick a box number, I say what the question letter is, and then you answer the question that's in the letter.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so what box number?
Yeah, I'll go 8.
8, not a problem. So we'll go for 8. Okay, we got W for whiskey. Okay, what experience or skills do you bring to ensure sound financial governance and decision making?
Yes, thanks for the question. I have got a degree in mechanical engineering from Auckland University. Obviously, that has little to do with financial governance, but there is an element of project control and restraint required in planning engineering projects. I have been a councillor for the last 9 years and have been through 3 long-term plan processes and annual plan processes. You don't do that without gaining knowledge and experience of how the process works and what is required, making tough calls on what's in and what's out. And so it's difficult in this new era of extreme rate increases over the last 3 years. We do need to become more fiscally responsible, and that's going to present challenges for the new council.
Okay, thanks for that. Member, what box number?
Number 13.
Number 13. Okay, we got R for Romeo. Okay, how would you support local businesses and growers and create new job opportunities without compromising environmental sustainability?
Thank you for your question. I will support local businesses and growers by encouraging innovation, sustainable practices, and investment in infrastructure that helps them thrive. At the same time, we must protect our environment, healthy land, and water, which are essential for long-term jobs. Growth and sustainability can go hand in hand if we plan carefully and involve community in our decision-making. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so we've got 3 questions down and we'll get off for another round. Laura, what box number?
Number 1, please.
Number 1. Oh, sorry, too many cards came out on that one. Okay, we've got L for Lima. Where do I put L on the stream deck? There we are. How will you ensure sustainable development while protecting natural heritage and biodiversity in the area?
So one of the importances about protecting natural heritage and biodiversity is first being able to understand it and know about it. So I believe that I do have an advantage in that space. I work in the environmental sector, and I also, I'm out and about with cultural history. So I've seen the sites, I know where they are, so that makes it easier to be able to protect something. Sustainable development, yeah, I mean, I'm not against development as such, but I want to see it done where it is sustainable. We cannot be polluting our waterways and things like that just because we need some more homes. So, yeah, that's very important to me anyway, those things. And we need to grow, but we need to do it responsibly and gradually.
Okay, Grant, what box number? 5? Yep, we can do 5. Okay, we got Z for Zulu. What are your plans for addressing housing affordability and density within the ward?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a big question for council because we are a growth region, and Western Bay Plenty District Council is coming under significant pressure in terms of supplying infrastructure for new housing developments. We've got several high-profile developers within Te Puke who have currently consented subdivisions for another 1,000 houses over the next 10 years. So the pressure is really on council to deliver the pipes and the roads and upgrade the wastewater treatment plant to cater for that growth. We are, well on the way in the planning stage. We're currently going through a spatial planning exercise, which will be released early next year, and that will inform additional resources that will be required to support this housing growth.
Okay, thank you for that. Remember, what box number? 25. 25. Oh yes, good age when the insurance excess comes down on the car. Okay, so we've got N for November. Many residents feel disconnected from council decision making. How will you improve transparency and community engagement?
Hey, I do agree that many residents feel that their voice is not heard. I will improve transparency by communicating clearly, sharing council decisions in plain and simple language, creating more opportunities for local people to have input in them, Engagement shouldn't just be a formality. It's about genuinely involving the community in the decisions that directly affect them.
Can I butt into that question,
Yeah,
please?
no problem. Let's get a button from Laura.
So this is one of the main things that I saw as an issue when I became an elected member. I believe that I have improved the communication anyway within the communities. I do that by quite well anyway by being the admins on the community pages, and therefore have a clear segue to be able to funnel all relevant information directly to people. I see that too as a major because the trust needs to be restored. I feel that a lot of people just are not interested, and maybe it's about the fact that they actually don't know. So I endeavour to tell everyone everything and provide those opportunities and full transparency. I've never once said something that isn't true or that I don't follow through with.
Okay. And traditionally very button, you get the next question. What box number?
So 22.
22. Thank you, Dave. For those wondering, it is my birthday. Okay, we got C for Charlie. Okay. How will you stand for the community at council table on issues where council is not in support of them?
Okay, so that has happened to me before, and all I do is try to persuade the other councillors and give them the reasoning behind it. And normally my reasoning doesn't actually come from me directly, it comes from the people. And so therefore, if other elected members aren't willing to listen or staff, then you take them to the people. Or if you can't take them to the people, you bring the people to them. Yeah.
Yep, we've got a button from Grant, and I'll restart that timer.
Okay. It's clear after consulting with the community that a preferred council proposal does not have community support, then I would most likely vote against it. A council position may be informed by staff, experts, professionals, health officials, or government ministers and directives. For example, the fluoride directive, where 14 councils around the country were mandated to fluoridate their waters. We had significant opposition to that, but we had no choice but to follow that directive, otherwise face serious fines of $100,000 initially and then $10,000 per day after that. So sometimes we have to vote with our conscience, and maybe that doesn't sit well with the community at large, but in general, we do need to listen to the community.
Okay, and as you said earlier, Bill, with buttons, you get the next box number. What box number are we doing, Grant?
2.
2? Okay, we got letters A, B for the All Blacks, considering you can't find anything else to go with A, B. Many residents feel disconnected from council decision making. How will you improve transparency and community engagement? I partly feel like I've already asked that, even though I know it's not the same question. A, B, so it'll be down the bottom.
Sorry, that's different.
That's
2. Yeah.
Oh,
AA.
oh, okay, sorry.
How will you balance your needs with
The boards, sweet.
Do you want me to do AB or AA?
Do AB, because that was the one on there. Sorry, I've got the wrong graphic loaded in on my screen. That's all right. I'll blame myself for that one, for that mistake. So yes, on the question on there, how would you balance the ward's needs with wider priorities when making budget decisions?
Okay, this is a great question because as a ward, Maketu-Te Puke ward has had to live by the smart growth philosophy where our council supported Omokaroa as the growth area in the Western Bay. So that led to significant investment in Omokaroa, going back as far as the mid-2000s to upgrade their wastewater plant. That was a result of failing septic tank system. So even though it may not have been palatable to our community, that was necessary, and maybe there has been a bit of a backlog, but generally over the last 10 years or so, Te Puke has been in a catch-up mode. Growth has been occurring, and as you know, growth brings development and financial contributions. So things are now starting to happen in Te Puke. People are coming to live here. We're making the community a better place. But yeah, overall, we do need to think of the district as a whole as councillors.
Okay, I think I know what's happened on the stream deck on there. It's ended up flipping to 7 PM questions, not 4 PM ones. So I've managed to get it back on the right track to the right place. Okay, Manvo, what box number? 26. Okay, we got O for Oscar. Do you support borrowing to fund major infrastructure, or should we focus on a pay-as-you-go model?
In terms of a yes and a no answer, I believe I'd go for neither. I believe in a balanced approach. Some major infrastructures like water, wastewater, roads require major upfront investments that can't be funded solely by the rates. Borrowing can be smart if it's responsibly and targeted and transparent, while still keeping our rates affordable. We should never borrow reckless, but we also can't let our central projects wait for a very long time. So we have to take a very balanced approach to this. Yes, we could explore some pay-as-you-go models, but it can't be all of them. Thanks.
Okay, Laura, what box number?
27.
Yep, we can
Struggling to remember what's there.
That's all right. 27 is there. If it's not there, I will say. Okay, we got X for X-ray. Okay. As a councillor, how would you work collaboratively with your fellow councillors to deliver on your promises?
Well, working collaboratively is something that I strive to do, and I do that well within the local community groups that I'm involved in. So making sort of, you get to know them and you don't upset them as such, and then that way, all the conversations are open. You can ask them questions, they can ask you questions, and you sort of work out quite quickly where you sit and where the alliances would be. So it's quite easy to work collaboratively. The councillors that we had around the table just recently, it was really awesome. Most of us were able to get along really well. So I don't feel there'll be any issues with those things.
Okay, Grant, what box number? 7. I love it how you guys don't end up clashing with box numbers when you pick them. Okay, we've got H for hotel. How accessible is the current Western Bay of Plenty District Council, and what steps would you take to improve accessibility if needed?
Yeah, I think this is an important area. We've got several local people who work in this space. I think of Tracy Wallace-Hutchins, who does a great job advocating for people with accessibility needs. And overall, I think council does support people with mobility or accessibility needs very well with our libraries, our public toilets, and our public spaces. So in terms of improving its accessibility, I guess, I'm a big advocate for walking and cycling trails. and I think making them more accessible so more people can enjoy the great outdoors that we have here in Te Puke is a great goal to have. And just our buildings and public spaces, generally, there's always room for improvement there. So, thank you.
Okay. And Manville, what box number? 18. It's all good. The voting age? Okay, and now I have that piece, that other card, AA. Okay. And I'm just checking my laptop to make sure the numbers line up. What is your vision for the Maketu-Te Puke ward over the next 3 years, and how will you ensure it aligns with the long-term strategy?
Thank you. My vision for the Maketu-Te Puke over the next 3 years is a safe, connected, and a thriving community where all families and businesses and environments can flourish at the same time. I will ensure that short-term actions align with the Council's long-term strategies by prioritising sustainable growth, resilient infrastructure, and inclusive decision-making that reflects our community's needs. Thank you.
Okay. Laura, what box number?
5.
5? No, sorry. You can pick its cousin of 4 or 6.
Yep. 4.
So we've had our first overlap. Okay, we got I for igloo. How can the council contribute to civil defence and emergency management in our area?
So that's a great question. And civil defence is something that I'm hugely involved in. I am the leader for our Maketu community-led civil defence plan, because one day we had a civil defence emergency and we realised that we're evacuating our people to nowhere. So we really needed a plan. So I got on the ground, I organised some debriefing meetings, and then we formed a group that then formed the Maketu community-led civil defence. And now we just have one of the highest grade civil defence plans that you could possibly think of. Thank you to the people in Maketu who helped to do that. The council, though, they obviously host the buildings where these emergency hubs are located, and normally you can find helpful people like me located in them.
Okay. Grant, what box number?
6.
Yep, we can do 6. Okay, we got Q for Queen Elizabeth II. How will you help the ward prepare for and respond to climate change impacts such as flooding, coastal erosion, and severe weather events?
Okay, that's a question that I'm very familiar with. After Cyclone Gabriel and the Auckland Anniversary Weekend events, Te Puke was significantly hit by heavy rainfall event that created significant issues in our streams and rivers with debris / wilding pines coming down our rivers, and actually took out the number 4 road bridge, which we had to rebuild at the cost of about $6-7 million. Fortunately, we got assistance from the government to the tune of 71%. But in terms of improving the situation, I have been advocating. I'll put in personal submissions to the regional council to ask for a targeted rate to assist, especially in this area in terms of preventive maintenance in the upper catchments and also clean-up operations when we do suffer from this iniquity. I think particularly of the Muir Place residents who their houses have been encroached recently, and we need to figure out a solution for them. Thank you.
Okay, and Manville, what box number? Don't go up that, but we can go to 28. Yes, no, we dropped to 28 in 2023. We used to have 30 in 2022, but unfortunately, 28 looked good when you had the boxes lined up together. It was one of Jill's good decisions. Okay, rates have increased significantly in the last 3 years. What will you do to K for kite? Or K for kiwi fruit, actually. We should call it K for kiwi fruit because we're in the kiwi fruit capital. Okay, we'll start again. Rates have significantly increased in the last 3 years. What will you do to ensure affordability for ratepayers while still funding essential services?
I understand that rising rates are putting pressure on every family and small businesses. I will ensure every dollar is spent wisely and sensibly, prioritising essential services and push for efficiency in our council operations as much as possible. I'll also look for alternative funding options like potential developer contributions and government grants so the ratepayers aren't unfairly burdened. Thank you.
Okay, Laura, what box number?
14?
Yep, we can do 14. Okay, we got M for Mike. Do you support reviewing council spending priorities before turning to further rates increases?
That's a great question. So I absolutely do support reviewing the spending priority because I don't actually feel that a lot of what we spend money on is actually necessary. And I've always said that too, like with our policies and our bylaws, we can't even have them in place if they can't actually be actively, policed. It's just a waste of time. That's just having control where you don't need to. And, there are other things. The priorities need to be finalised, but they need to be finalised with the public, the people that actually pay for these things. Because councillors, they can give their priorities till the cows come home, but I don't think that that's what the ratepayers want to see. They want their priorities at the table. So absolutely, I believe in reviewing. I don't know about the full council makeup, but reviewing very critical processes for sure.
Okay, Grant, what box number? 9. Yep, we can do 9. Okay, we got V for Victor. How will you work with local iwi and hapu to ensure their voices are included in council decision making?
Yes, also another very good question that is very much a topic du jour with every single candidate meeting I've been to. Everyone wants to know how we voted for Maori wards. In terms of how we ensure their voices are included in council decision making, that is legislated by the Local Government Act. Council has had long-standing Maori partnership forums within the council structure. It used to be a single entity with all iwi and hapu across the district included. A few years ago, it was split into the two distinct divisions, Te Arawa Ward and Tauranga Moana side. And I believe that with the right guidance from the staff and the elected members, and even the mayor, I think they could operate more effectively than they currently do. And if in a position to do so, I would certainly advocate for that in the next term.
Okay, thank you for that. Member, what box number? Yes, 11's still there. Okay, we got P for the Puke part of Te Puke. How will you protect waterways, beaches and farmlands from pollution, erosion and unsustainable development?
Thank you. I will protect our waterways, our beaches and our farmland by enforcing stricter environmental standards, supporting sustainable development and working closely with the farmers, the iwi and the environmental groups. Protecting our land and our water isn't optional. It's essential for our community, our economy, and our future generations, and it has to be done.
Okay, thank you for that. Laura, what box number? You can have everyone's favourite age of 21.
Yeah.
It's all right. My grandma, for her 84th birthday, got given her 21st birthday card and put in there, "Happy 4th 21st." You know, that now, same grandma's now 97. Okay, we got J for Juliet. What strategies will you support to help local businesses recover and thrive post-COVID and in a changing economy?
That's a good question. I do recognise the struggles in local businesses. I've seen many actually, just have to close or totally restructure their whole outfit. That really breaks my heart. So what I would do is firstly, because I'm not a business owner myself, so I would firstly need to understand exactly what it is that businesses need help with, because councils can't directly help individual business owners as such, but they can collectively help them keep their costings down and things like that in terms of what they have to pay towards councils. So that would be about all I would say there, but I definitely am very keen to understand business owners and their needs.
Okay.
Am I able to?
Yep.
Sorry.
Chucking it.
what's
No,
it
that's
called?
all right. That's how buttons will work.
I will back strategies that help local businesses grow and adapt, such as supporting digital transformation and promoting local tourism, and also reducing red tape as much as we can and ensuring that the core infrastructure needs are met for each and every business. Councils must listen to business owners, make it easier for them to operate locally, and create more opportunities for the Te Puke Maketu community to give out more jobs and to thrive in this changing economy.
No problem. Okay, Grant, what box number? Yep, we can do 10. Definitely see there must be a tally being kept somewhere. So it's always good. It keeps us open and transparent. As I say, I've got to be held to the same standard as you guys are when it comes to the box opening. Okay, we've got E for Echo. How will you ensure access to community services for diverse population, including students, migrants, and vulnerable groups?
Okay, our council has a very inclusive culture through support for events and organisations such as Multicultural Tauranga, Citizens Advice Bureau, the Te Puke Sikh Parade, Te Keti Matariki, etc., and within our libraries across the district. Where possible, our buildings, facilities, and public toilets are mobility and accessibility friendly. I'm not sure if this is the question, but we employ staff members from different cultural groups. I'm always open to opportunities to meet with specific community groups and cultural organisations if invited. And like, for example, I've had several meetings with the local Sikh community, and Mandra has also been very welcoming in terms of introductions in that space as well. So I think it's always great to have cultural diversity, and it makes us a better society if we all get on well together.
Okay, Manville, what box number?
27, is it still?
No, but the highest I've got is 24.
24. Go.
Okay, we got G for Geyser, since it's only down the road. What steps would you take to ensure housing remains affordable and accessible for local family and first home buyers?
That is one of the important questions, and thanks, it came to me. Housing should be in reach for local families and for first home buyers. I shall push for smart land use and planning, affordable housing developments, and fair infrastructure costs so that we're not pricing people out. Councils must also work with government and community housing providers to make sure local people, not just outside investors, get a fair shot at owning a home here.
No problem. Okay, Laura, what box number?
I feel that it's easier for you to tell us the numbers that are left.
Oh, you got 12. The old driver's license age of 15. The new driver's license age of 16. Joining the defence force at 17. Got 19, and the old voting age and drinking age of 20. And you got 23, which is a useless age number.
We'll go with 19. Please.
Go with 19. Yes, I also believe that's another useless age number.
That was Shane Warne and Michael Jordan's number, so just 23.
Ooh. Now, what sport? I know the names, but I don't know the sport.
You have led a sheltered life.
That's all right. That's all right. I seem to know more about what happens in politics and sport. Okay. Are you comfortable with, we got Y for Yankee. Are you comfortable with the way the council manages its debt position?
Great question. I actually don't think that anyone should be comfortable with any council in New Zealand's debt position at the moment. What I would say is that Western Bay doesn't have as high of a debt as somewhere like Tauranga City, for example. Obviously, it's a city. There are differences, but our debt is nowhere near that, and we need to keep it that way. But as I said, comfortable, no way. We need to keep to the things that really matter, core things that are not nice to haves, they are absolute must-dos.
Okay, Grant, what box number?
Go 18. Oh, no, let's go 23.
23. Okay, we got S for Sierra. What is your plan to improve transport links, road safety, and public transport options in the ward?
I actually stood on this platform in the last election 3 years ago that I wanted to improve transport connections and links for the Te Puke community. We have got the growing population and increased business activity has meant that we are now suffering from significant traffic congestion. I think there are some fixes that have been identified. Council did commission a report from Becca, but I feel that was a bit limited in its scope, and we do need to add a third leg to Te Puke, connect Te Puke to the Papamoa East interchange. There are some very minor low-cost fixes that can be made around both the western and the eastern entrances in terms of adding additional lanes, maybe removing some of the constrictions as you come in from the east, a slip lane on the west on the two roundabouts. So overall, I think that's there are some manageable options there.
Okay, thank you for that. Menver, what box number? 12. Yes, 12 still available. Okay, we've got B for Bravo. How would you stand up for your community interests if it differs from your own position?
As a councillor, my role is to represent the community, not just myself. If in any rare case my personal view differs, I will always listen and consult widely and put my community's interests first in front of my own. My job is to carry their voice into the council chambers, even if it means setting my own aside.
Okay, and we have another round. You all have one button left, so please feel free to use your buttons on this round. So at least we have all candidates using up all their buttons before we hit the mid-time break. Laura, what box number?
16.
16. So we've got old driver's license age. Okay, we have you for uniform. That's in this section here. How would you ensure new housing developments are matched by investment in transport, water, and community facilities?
So one of the ways that that is done is with central government investment and developer contributions. There are not too many other ways to be able to pay for those huge investments. We definitely in some of those situations at the moment with some of the proposed new developments coming through. It's sort of what I've seen in the media is sort of more like oh, we want this, but no one really wants to pay for it. Or we need this, but actually we're not paying for it. So I would just advocate to central government that actually, if you want these things done, they need to come to the table as well, and they need to provide financial assistance in order to do that. Otherwise, we just cannot expand like that because we just cannot afford to.
Okay, we've got any buttons for a chance? No? Grant.
18,
8. Can't do that, but we can do 17 or 20.
20.
It's all right, I'm liking this. We're going to be answering 27 questions in this show. You know, your sport, Te Puke, you have candidates who answer a lot of questions. Okay, we've got F for Foxtrot. How will you manage the rapid growth in the Maketu and Te Puke while ensuring infrastructure like roads, water and wastewater keep pace?
I feel like I've already answered this question, but
I feel like I've asked it as well.
clearly there is rapid growth happening in Maketu and Te Puke. Council has certainly been challenged with the projects that are required to manage this. We've had Rangiru Business Park finally come on stream with the first section sold a couple of months ago. We are having to upgrade our Te Puke wastewater treatment plant to cope with the wastewater from Rangiru Business Park, as well as the increased housing growth that is happening at pace in Te Puke now. In terms of the roads, I've talked about the roads and the need to address those critical issues because, you know, we simply just can't have everyone stalled on the highways waiting for the traffic queues to clear. And so that is my main priority, actually.
I'd like to button.
Yep, remember, button. Jack, can you move the camera over one notch? That's all right.
The growth in Te Puke and Maketu is real. It's not hidden from anyone, but it must be managed responsibly. I will push for smart planning where infrastructure like roads, water and wastewater is upgraded before major developments go ahead. Rates collectively should be spent wisely and developers must contribute their fair share to it. And our community's voice must shape where the growth happens and how it happens. Thanks.
Okay, and what box number? You've got choice of 15 or 17. Oh no, 2's long gone. 15. Okay, we got A for Alpha. Do you support political party endorsements of local government candidates?
I personally believe that local governments should stay focused on local issues and not party politics. Our community cares about safer roads, reliable water and fairer rates, not about party lines. While parties can provide resources and experience, I think independence ensures our councillors represent the people of Te Puke and Maketu first and not a political agenda. My commitment shall be to serve our community directly, not from any party headquarters. Thank you.
Can I butt in?
Yes, I hope both of you are going to butt in.
Button as well, please.
Yeah. So Laura, you get to go first.
So I believe the exact same as what Maria has said there. I absolutely don't support political party endorsement into local government spaces. Same as what he said, there's really nothing more to say. It needs to remain localised, and you know, they can stay there with their political stuff, and we need to focus on the things that matter to our communities. None of this, oh, we're changing this and changing that, and they spend a lot of time talking and they do not deliver. So we're here, we're going to do the local things, and we're going to advocate to them, and that's all that needs to happen.
Okay, and Grant.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't support political party affiliations in local government. It has been a hot button question for some of the reporters in the media, especially after ACT announced that they were going to stand up candidates in local government elections. It's a common practice in the big cities, with examples like Andrew Little openly standing for Labor in Wellington and seeking funding from Labor Party supporters. I absolutely don't like the fact that councillors might come in with an agenda to vote according to party lines. I think that I have tended to vote for different parties my whole life, a swing voter. As I've got older, I've become more centre-right focused. I attend political party functions for New Zealand First, National Party. I'd go to anyone if there was one in the local area. It's a great opportunity to meet government MPs and a chance to influence them and get to know them.
Okay, thank you for that, and thanks for mentioning my home city of Wellington. Yes, I've got the fun part of working out who to vote for. So I do have one question left, so I'd like to give it to you guys as a hard-hitting question format, and it will be D for Delta. Okay, how willing are you to work with local hapu and iwi at a councillor level? Laura.
So I am tangata whenua, so I am a Māori councillor, you might say. I don't ever, though, discriminate on any other race at all. Everybody matters to me. I work in an iwi space in Maketu, but again, that's only around environmental stuff. I'm not in the political iwi space. But I'm very willing to work with them, and I do work with them, and we have really strong relationships, and that is very important to me that continues. But again, there are not any differences between any other person. So I just want to make that very clear. I am proud to be Māori, and I always will be.
Okay, Grant.
Yeah, I actually have pretty good relationships with the local iwi and hapu. Like I say, being on council for 3 terms, you do get to know the iwi and hapu reps very well because of the Māori partnership forums that council has established. I don't think there's any intention to disestablish those partnership forums. The Māori ward is a newbie for this coming term, and there's been, as you know, significant opposition. It's going to the referendum. The people will decide whether that exists in 3 years' time or not. I am concerned about a exclusivity creeping into Māori relationships. I think there should be open and honest dialogue between the iwi hapu groups, the staff, and the elected members. Elected members should never be excluded from conversations with tangata whenua. The radicalisation of Te Pāti Māori, I think, is causing division within New Zealand. That's becoming a problem for local government.
Okay, member.
I am absolutely committed to working with the local iwi and the hapu. They bring a lot to the table. They bring knowledge history, and a perspective that strengthens our whole community. We need to work together in partnerships, but partnerships means listening, respecting, and making decisions together so that our communities thrive for everyone, not just for a community in particular. We need to make collective decisions while also listening and understanding their perspective as well. So I think we all need to work collectively to reach mutual understanding on every topics and concern.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, we normally take a break now, but do you want to continue on for hard-hitting questions? Because we're probably only going to be about 15 minutes. It'll take, was it about 15 minutes because there's only 3 of you on the top end, plus closing statements? We'll take a break? Okay, so we're going to take a 10-minute break and then we'll be back for hard-hitting questions.
Just a short little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now, you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Into the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. The lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Into the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime.
shit, don't panic, but it's almost time to get back to the show. The candidates have stretched their legs, been partying, taking a break. Cause there's still hard-hitting questions, closing statements and stuff you wanna know. So grab those snacks for their answers and prep for decisions you need to make. Oh, 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 oh. The candidates have stretched their leg. The candidates have stretched their legs, been partying, taking a break. Oh, 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 oh. There's still hard-hitting questions, closing statements and stuff you wanna know. So grab the snack you wanna know. So grab those snacks, hear their answers and prep for decisions you need to make. Oh, 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 oh.
Okay, and welcome back to It's in the Ballot. Now let's get ready for hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions. We don't get anything funny. What does a question? Because every candidate has answered the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, so hard-hitting questions are here where no candidate can use their button cards or the deferred cards, and the goal of hard-hitting questions is for all candidates to sit there and answer them. So let's get on to hard-hitting question number 1. What are your priorities for community spaces, regional facilities, and essential services in Maketu and Te Puke? Manva, you get to go first.
Community spaces and the recreational facilities are the heart of vibrant towns. They bring people together, support health and well-being, and also enhance the quality of life. As a councillor, my priorities shall be to upgrade and maintain existing facilities, which include the parks, sports grounds, playgrounds, and community halls, which need to be safe and accessible and also fit for purpose. We also need to do planning for growth, which means new housing. As the new housing and population increases, these both must be matched with adequate recreational and community spaces. We also need to focus on essential services. We need to ensure that reliable water, wastewater, and emergency services which meet the needs of all the residents. And we also need to make sure that our community engagement is as high as possible, which means involving residents in planning so that the spaces reflect the local needs and their priorities. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Grant.
Yeah, obviously, this is a very important aspect of population growth. We're expecting another nearly 3,000 people to be living in Te Puke in 10 years' time. We take development financial contributions from the developers to create new playgrounds and reserve spaces. So we do need to deliver on those areas. People need space to move out and recreate. And while we've been well served, I think there is now a shortage of playing fields for the soccer clubs and the football clubs, and I've personally been involved in cycleway development, the Maketu-Te Pathway group, and there's a clear need for more cycleways and walkways around Te Puke. We need to connect Te Puke to Maketu and Paengaroa with a shared pathway. It's taken a while to achieve that, but that is one of my long-term goals, is to make that happen. Thank you. And one last thing, if I can, Omakaroa's got a $1 million playground. Te Puke has got a few smaller, low-budget playgrounds. It's time Te Puke had a better playground as well.
Okay, and Laura.
So, for our community spaces, one of the priorities for me, it comes back down to equity. So, I notice that in some of the spaces there are differences between the east and the west, and that needs to change. We need to have more of a fair system. Recreational facilities. We do have some good ones here, but I do feel that we need to, again, make sure that it's not just the cities that are getting bulked up with these facilities. We need to have it too, because recreational facilities are a place for people to connect with one another. They are also a place to grow and to be healthy. So we need those things. Essential services, just understand them and continue to make them happen. We need to actually speak with the people about what they want to have. So even back to the reserve spaces, you go into the reserves management plans and you advocate to the community for what they are.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 2. What are the top 3 priorities for Maketu-Te Puke ward? Manva.
Hey, over the next term, my top priorities are responsible growth and infrastructure, which means staging housing developments so that transport, water, wastewater, and the community facilities are upgraded in time, with the developers and the government contributing both fairly. Another one would be environmental protection, working with the iwis, the farmers, the environmental groups to protect our waterways, our beaches, our farmlands, and also the biodiversity for our future generations, while also encouraging sustainable economic growth. Our community and well-being and engagement, we need to improve accessibility to council services, maintain and upgrade the community and recreational facilities, and also make sure the residents' voices are genuinely included in the decision making. Focusing on these areas will ensure that the Te Puke and Maketu grows sustainably, stays vibrant, and remains a community where people can live, work, and thrive.
Okay, no problem. Grant.
Yeah, the number one priority is we need to complete the Te Puke spatial plan. It's been under development now for a couple of years. It will inform our requirements, our shortfalls, and provide a blueprint for, you know, the 3,000 people, like I said before, that are going to be living here in 10 years' time. With a clear plan, we can plan carefully and put the money aside for the facilities that we're going to need. The second thing, and this stems from the first one, is fix the traffic congestion issues that Te Puke has. I've already talked about ways that can be done, but we do need support. We will need subsidies from NZTA. We will need support from the government in terms of the new connection road to the Papamost interchange and the TEL should be considered a road of regional significance. And finally, we need to ensure that our town centre is supportive and fit for purpose to ensure that our businesses can survive and thrive in our town centres.
Okay. Well, Laura.
So one of my number one priorities has always been, since I joined Western Bay, Te Puke's traffic issue. That's been a long-standing issue. I keep being told that it's a seasonal issue. It's absolutely not a seasonal issue. I've also put forward multiple recommendations to be able to come up with both short-term and long-term solutions to the problems. And I keep being told to wait for the Te Puke spatial plan. Well, I find that hard to believe, because in the draft plan, there is nothing to address the traffic issue at all. So that is always will remain a top priority until it is sorted. Second priority is stormwater management. I feel that a lot of our rural urban communities are really suffering with that issue. So that's big on my list, whilst protecting all of our natural waterways and things like that as well. And I can already say that those things are starting to happen.
Okay, so let's get on to hard-hitting question number 3. What is your position on retaining Western Bay of Plenty, was it Waka Kai Oro district-wide Māori ward, and the Bay of Plenty Regional Council, you say it's Moao Māori constituency, and why do you hold that position? Manva.
I believe that the Māori wards and the constituencies are essential for inclusive and effective local governance. Te Puke Maketu sits within the wider Western Bay of Plenty region, where tangata whenua have a unique relationship with the land, water, and environment. Retaining the Māori wards ensures that the tangata whenua voices are heard, which shall reflect the cultural knowledge, history, and priorities of the local iwi. This will also ensure that stronger partnerships, the council can work collaboratively with the Māoris on the environmental, social, and economic issues. Inclusive democracy, everyone benefits when diverse perspectives are considered in the decision-making process. I hold this position because representation isn't about special treatment, it's about fairness and partnerships. The Māori communities have rights, responsibilities, and insights that strengthen our councils and benefit the wider community. Ensuring their voices are included makes Te Puke and the Western Bay stronger, fairer, and better governed.
Okay, Grant.
In 2018, Council voted to establish a Māori ward in the full knowledge that a referendum could be called by public petition. I think we could have taken the position that the referendum would likely overturn the establishment of a Māori ward, and as it turned out, it did by the ratio of 78% to 22%. So, from my point of view, I thought it was a good opportunity to actually explore the democratic option and put it to the people, even though we probably foresaw the outcome. And I know other councils like Maketu-Te took the pragmatic view that why do it when you know it's going to be defeated? And central government has used the Māori ward as a political ping pong by the Labor government disestablishing the referendum, and now the latest government re-establishing the referendum. So I do look forward to seeing how the Māori ward does play out with a democratically elected councillor around the table, and I think that will be a good example for the community to see how that works over the next 3 years, whether we have one after that or not.
Okay, and Laura.
My position would be to retain the Māori ward in the Western Bay. One of my first meetings in the council chambers as a newly elected councillor was that vote. I will be honest, it was actually quite hard for me to sit in and listen to some of the things that we said around the room. But I hold those positions because I listened to the people that it affects the most, and they wanted to have this. So that's the reason that I support having it there. I also do feel that, you know, there's absolutely nothing to lose with having a Māori candidate sitting around the table. You've got lots of opportunities to open the minds of the other people who are sitting around the room. So I can't wait, and let's bring on the referendum.
Okay, so we're at that time of the show where we've had all the candidates answer the hard-hitting questions. So let's get to closing statements. Grant, you get to go first on why you should receive one of the free ticks.
Yeah. I stood for council or community board first in 2010 because the locals got fired up about council wanting to sell part of one of our local reserves, Jubilee Park, to a national supermarket chain. I had a significant number of people extremely angry that council would even consider this proposition. And before I even got involved, they had actually proposed selling half of that reserve for housing, for a housing subdivision. So I think being around the council table does give us a chance to mould the community in the way that I think is beneficial for the people. I've really enjoyed my time as a councillor. If you come in with the right mindset, it is possible to make change that is significant. There are some councillors who just come in with single purpose or single intention, but if you take a wide-ranging view, I think we can influence change for the better. And I know there is extreme pressure on rates and affordability, and that is something that we really need to address in the coming term. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Next up, Laura.
Right, so I believe that I deserve to be re-elected again. for another chance to continue the work that we've been doing together already. So I communicate well, I have high integrity, I'm honest, I'm open, and I bring the people along with us. That's all I'd like to say. Just, even if you do not support me, just please get out and vote. We have the lowest turnouts, and those are part of the reasons that people are not happy with the decisions made, is that people do not engage. So I can encourage you to do that, then I feel like I've done something good. Thank you.
Okay, and a member.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak with all of you today. I want you to leave you with this. The Te Puke Maketu ward is full of potential, but it needs councillors who listen, act, and put our community first. I'm committed to being that voice, someone who delivers practical solutions, invests in our essential services, and supports the spaces and opportunities that make our ward a great place to live in. Your vote is not just for me, it's for a stronger, safer, and a more connected community. Together, we can ensure that our ward thrives today and also for the future generations. I would be absolutely honoured to represent you on the council and work every day to make our community the best that it can be. Thank you.
And thank you for doing. Can you get an audience to give a big round of applause? Okay, so just before we go, let's get we'll do a little bit of housekeeping on here. It's in the Ballot is an independent non-profit organisation focusing on giving candidates and voters the opportunity to get to know their candidates better and producing events such as ones like this. Our costs to sit there and run today's show cost $500 for the venue hire. We paid $14 per day for Starlink connection. $31 is our restreaming hosting services, and we also have a fuel allowance of $100 for petrol to get there. Thank goodness there's only one vehicle, not two in the mix, otherwise that would be $200. And also refreshments cost for myself and Jack for the crew for sitting there doing it is $50. If you'd like to help It's in the Ballot Productions produce more of these shows and support our format, feel free to go to our Give a Little page and put a donation on there. You can also go on Eventbrite and buy a koha without admission ticket or a koha ticket to help fund these sorts of things and pay for the venue hires. Or you can always go to it'sintheballot.nz and you can get our Kiwi bank account and do a direct credit deposit into there. If you do that one, it gets us get the funds here the quickest and has the least fees attached to it. And if you're a viewer who is watching us on YouTube, you can if you're watching us live, you can do a super chat, and if you're watching us after the event, you can do a super thanks, and you can sit there and do that. I'd like to thank our candidates for participating on It's in the Ballot. It's not easy to sit down there and get in front of a video camera and tell the whole world what you stand on things, but appreciate you for doing it, and can also sit there and thank the audience for taking part, both those online and remotely watching, and those who are watching it in the future. I'd also like to thank Jack, who's been on our on-site camera person, and I'd also like to thank Nick, our candidate liaison, for being our remote editor today. I'd like to thank Laura for doing the marketing of the event in the areas and do that. It's not easy trying to pull things off. I'd also like to thank Stacey for doing the graphics and making things work, Helen for doing the questions, and for Carol for doing the playing cards. We'll be back here. Back here planned for 6 o'clock for the, what's it called? The Te Puke Community Board of the Western Bay of Plenty for the candidates who want to participate on that one. And we're back here at 7 p.m. for the Western Bay of Plenty mayoral debate. And we'll see you then. Have a good afternoon.
Puke.